here in Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. So my main responsibility is the crew, to protect all my crew, to protect the ship, and to conduct the mission French government assigned to me. So a normal day life is like we woke up early in the morning at perhaps 6 o'clock. It started with the maintenance of the ship, to have a good maintenance. We have current operation to do. Every evening we are making on the top of the ship here, just on the platform, good sport training with all of the crew members, and after it start on daily basis by training, guns training, security, fire security training, etc., to be sure that we are well trained for our missions. And depending on the situation around us, the ship is prepared to make patrol, to visit other ships, to make sure that the main mission is to reassure all the Pacific Sea around us. Yeah, and also an important responsibility for me is to maintain the morale of my team, to maintain the fighting spirit. I am now commanding officer since 1 month. I am well impressed of the fighting spirit I can see on board with my crew. So the main mission of the ship is to patrol. So to patrol we have a radar. So we have a combined surface and air radar to have a good picture of the situation around us. We also have drone capabilities. You can see on top, just here, a platform. So we can to survey at a long distance, at a long range. We have an air drone, an UAV, just to recognize have a good RMP. We call that in the Navy, recognize maritime picture. And we have also RIB, so we have 3 RIB on board to put like a boarding team at sea, to visit a unit, to give assistance also, to give assistance to a vessel who need our assistance. So even if there is disaster or thing like that, we can provide assistance to other ship. Well, it's just I am very proud to be here, to be the commanding officer of this ship, and it's like magical. So. First of all, this is the open day ship today. So the August Melbig is still the August Melbig is open. So if you want to visit the ship, feel free to come on board. It will probably make you a good experience, and perhaps, I hope, make you want to join your Navy. And yeah, it's like a big day for us today. To be a sporty guy first, to have a good health conditions, to follow discipline, because we are in a military vessel, so you need to be flexible. I think it's a good word, and also resilient. It's also a good word. Yeah.
That was the commander of the French naval ship, talking about his ship and their involvement in this fleet review. We will now look at that review that we've been throwing at many times. So let's have a look at that fleet review again now. Side of Port Moresby, the other waterfront of Port Moresby, where APEC Haus is, and of course the gathering of all the leaders, including the Governor General and all the military officials. Now, Lieutenant Commander Terence, you were going over this, and I think now that it's all over, looking back, how do you see it there?
So the outcome was spectacular, I might say. There was a lot of planning put into it, and the execution part fell in place nicely. I believe the public were put on a very colorful and professional display of naval and military skills.
Yeah, and viewers need to realize that we, of course, the NBC TV, MTV, and TV1 covering this, giving you these pictures. They've got their cameras in various locations in downtown Port Moresby, in front of Ella Beach, at the APEC Haus. And so we were able to bring you pictures of that this morning. And that is the gun salute, the welcome, or the, actually it's, the firing of the gun is the salute, isn't it?
It is the actual salute. That is their salute.
And that wonderful scene we were talking about a little earlier on, the Papua New Guinea Defence Force chopper, flying our flag in the air towards the end of the fleet review. And a moment to remember.
Yeah, and a spectacle there for the public who witnessed to the events that happened this morning. First of its kind for many here in Papua New Guinea, and also I think the naval officers also from Papua New Guinea participating in the event this morning. And as we await in the proceedings on what is scheduled to take place this afternoon, we cross now to Tracy Parr, our colleague who's on the ground, to give us an overview of how things are there.
Thanks, John. The Naval Freedom of Entry March is called Welcome to Port Moresby March, visiting nationals into the city. The march is initiated by the military personnel from PNGDF Maritime Element, accompanied by maritime element from regional and international navies. And the march serves as a formal occasion to recognize the military units' historical ties and service to the community, strengthening the bond between the public and the military forces. The march concludes the PNGDF Fleet Review Ceremony, a significant naval event hosted to commemorate Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary celebration. Now the march will begin here and will end at the APEC Haus, where another ceremony will take place. Over to you, John.
Okay, that was Tracy Parr. I don't know if we got the audio and if you all heard her, but there she was, trying to give us an account of the march that's coming out of the old wharf down at Port Moresby. Right now, these are live pictures. And Lieutenant Commander, let's just go over it again for us, this march.
Yes, as you can see, the PNGDF contingent is leading the formation, followed by the Indian Navy, who are providing the band for the cadence for the marching troops. And then the rest of the ship's company, I would believe, would be the French at the rear, and towards the end would be the Australians and the Tongans. So they will follow that route along the Esplanade, going up Musgrave Street, along the old Westpac, or the current Westpac branch, just above the town clock tower, and down to the APEC Haus.
Okay, so the march is called Welcome to PNG March.
Yes.
Okay, let's go over there again. It was to have been what?
Traditionally, you would term this entry marches as a freedom of entry march. It's a custom for, after every naval fleet reviews, that the participating surface fleet units will come ashore and they will seek permission to enter a municipality. So the governor or a Lord Mayor would be giving them a challenge, and they will respond to that challenge, and he will allow them or give them the key to come enter the city. So that's the significance of it. A slight difference in this particular arrangement, where the troops will just be marching along that route down to APEC Haus, where the governor will deliver a speech, a welcome speech.
Okay. And in this case, I guess the governor will just say, welcome to PNG
Exactly,
rather than you're allowed to pass through.
That's right, that's
kind
right.
of thing. Okay. And all of them in white, of course, symbolizing that they're from their navies, they're from the marine element of their defense forces.
That's right, sir.
And again, you know, I mean, all right, the land elements are green, and the air elements are a little bit blue.
Yes, sir.
And white is referred to as marine or navy. I mean, the difference in the colors. Any thought, any significance, any explanation behind the different colors of the elements, the three elements of the defense forces?
Well, naturally you'd say green resembles the land, so that goes with that. The blue for the Air Force goes with the air, the Navy itself. White, it's long along the Royal Navy days, so it has been part of the tradition we've adopted from the Commonwealth up until now, sir.
All right. And this is, they're marching through just in front of the wharf, the old Port Moresby wharf. Of course, they say the old container area, but that is now moved to, it is an industrial part of Port Moresby then, but it was moved to motor care, where major ships, cargo ships, use motor care. And that particular area now, I believe it'll be used to develop, I don't know, restaurants and high rises over there. That's something they've got planned. But right now, it is the scene of the march, of the welcome to PNG march by members of at least 5 or 6 navies that are taking part in the fleet review in Port Moresby, marking Papua New Guinea's 50th Independence Golden Jubilee celebrations.
Yes, John, and I think in the morning they were on the ship, this time around on the coast, just next to the water, something they are too familiar with.
Now, I saw a flag there. Was it the New Vanuatu flag?
No, sir, that's actually the Indian Navy. So they have a large contingent. I believe a contingent of around 199 or so. So those are...
That's quite big.
That is a
and
big...
And they've come all the way.
They've come all the way, sir, from India.
This one, our Pacific neighbors, I assume.
That is part of still the Indian Navy. In the Navy, we have various dresses. So you will notice that there are whites, white rigs, and then the black pants and the blue collar shirts as well.
It's quite magical.
I'd imagine, sorry sir, I'd imagine the office workers in the downtown CBD area would be, you know, having a front seat view of what's happening on the waterfront.
Absolutely, absolutely. But some of them is still a working day. And I guess it would have taken them a couple of days to rehearse all of that.
Actually, sir, the rehearsal was yesterday. So.
And this is another corner of Port Moresby, and there will be I would like to give you that street, but no. Again, we have a number of people who have gone downtown to Port Moresby to see all of that, as you can see over there.
Yes, in this day and age, people also want a copy for themselves of what's actually happening. They have their phones out. Social media will be flooding after this.
Normally the case anyway, but there's some significant event.
And John, this area of Port Moresby is important, an area of Port Moresby City, the CBD. It's in that area that we have restaurants and entertainment areas in that particular area, and also government offices, including the IRC and several missions and important offices located along that area of Port Moresby.
Also, it has a history. Its history is quite significant. When people refer to Port Moresby, That's it, right there. Right there. That was Port Moresby. Of course, it's changed now. New buildings have come up. But I think they will make on your screen, they will make a left-hand turn and go up the hill to what was then the famous traffic clock that was in the center of Port Moresby. And if you were referring to Port Moresby in the 60s, in the 70s, then that would be it.
Remains of the colonial past of Papua New Guinea still evident there, and along those areas in the hillside you will find old buildings that were built before independence still there. Lieutenant Commander, I take it that we haven't seen anyone from the city authority or government as yet to greet them on the way?
Yes, sir. I believe the governor will be standing at the APEC House to receive the troops and address them, make a speech and address the troops for that occasion.
Someone is carrying something there in front of them. What is it? And is that going to be presented to the governor?
Actually, sir, every ship, they carry the insignia with them. So it symbolizes that that's the ship's company and that's the ship's name. So you will see that flag, national flag, and then it's a life ring. So the ship's ceremonial life ring. So the person that marches in front of the body of troops will display that, signifying that this is the ship's company of this particular ship.
And the Indian contingent just went past. We have a lot of Indian residents in our city and country as a whole. Good to see them participating here in PNG.
Well, not only that, we have the French, some of the French here, we have Fijians here, we have Australians here, we have New Zealanders here, we have just about, I mean, they are our friends and our neighbors, so I am sure that they're also they are also relating to this with some sort of memory.
That would be the Australian Navy crew on camera on the screen right now.
And they're just masking past the old Port Moresby post office, which is on the left.
Yes, and the Magistral Service Office, I think, on the other side.
That's the new look Port Moresby city with high rises and country, 50 years, come of time.
It's quite a distance from the old container wharf up to APEC.
It is quite a distance, Mr. Valinaki. Thankfully, the breeze is helping out with the conditions of the waterfront area.
All right, and we have our colleague, Martha, who is on standby. Martha on standby on location. Martha, if you can hear us.
Well, we did attract quite a few people in Port Moresby, didn't we? There's a few of them, crowd growing. I think I'd like to think that all of them were congregating up top town for them to march up to them. I think, I don't know, Lieutenant Commander Mugugia, of all those marching, the smartest are these guys here. They're kind of energetic.
The Indian contingent, guys.
It's an exciting time for all the sailors, I'd imagine
Yes.
that.
Well, if they don't seem exciting, I don't blame them. That's quite a long march.
It is a long march,
from
sir.
the waterfront right up to top town.
So in each of these marches, where do we find a commanding officer for each of the fleets?
The commanding officer will lead the formation. All the officers will traditionally be at the front of the
Like that one there, yeah.
Yes. So
I might add that this is now marching up to the hill towards that old clock that used to be in the middle of top town, that used to be the center of the city almost. And in the 60s and 70s, there was always a policeman there, traffic police officer, guiding traffic, going north, south, east, and west. Today it is replaced by modern traffic lights.
Yes, it is. And the shot from the BSP side of the area, I assume.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Now we're seeing some females, naval officers. How would you address them? Olmeri usati establo shipia, or naval, call them all naval officers. How would you address them?
Sir, we address them standard per rank. So if it's a leading seaman, it's a leading seaman.
But if it's a lady, what? She becomes a leading she-lady?
No, sir, the rank remains the same. So it's generic.
Okay.
It's generic.
Wow.
A lieutenant commander can also be a female and commanding officer at the same time.
The traffic there has come to a standstill. It's one busy area of town in Port Moresby, but
If it is not people, Bradley, then it would definitely be for motor vehicles.
Yes,
So
most
certainly I talked to particularly the taxis.
yeah. They're coming down towards the St. Mary's Cathedral at downtown, that area of Port Moresby.
Yes, now we're seeing some pictures there of from APEC House. I'd like to think these shots are coming from APEC House, looking towards top town, and marching down are the seamen and women.
I think the downtown area of Port Moresby, you have officers at the moment working. It's no public holiday for the government machinery. But towards Ella Beach, you will see a lot of people crowding there since morning for the events. Towards Ella Beach, you will see a lot of people crowding there since morning for the events. Their attire is eye-catching for our crew. They seem to be liking this shot more.
So from there, Lieutenant Commander, they will go straight to APEC House, will they not, and not march to Ella Beach per se?
No, sir, they will come to a point in front of the APEC House and they will halt the formation and then be addressed by the governor.
The Honorable Powers Pakop,
I believe
the
so, sir.
governor of the National Capital District, who plays honors and hosts this time in welcoming the marchers, and he welcomes them to Papua New Guinea. So after the formalities at the APEC House, after the address by Governor Paus Pakop, it'll be the end of today's fleet review.
Yes, sir. So the sailors will have a small barbecue, just gathering amongst themselves. And then in the evening of tonight, you'll have the cocktail function, which will be happening down at the APEC House, where all the ship's commanding officers and VIPs will be invited.
What about the soldiers who are marching, or the seamen, women who are marching right now?
That's where the barbecue will be happening. So
Okay.
a separate location at the Basilis Naval Base.
Yeah, different ranks.
Different ranks, absolutely, sir.
All right, this is APEC House, the shots of APEC House. They've arrived at APEC House. They have arrived in Papua New Guinea, if you like, and they have arrived to the Honorable Paus Pakop. So he will have that honor of welcoming the navies from our neighbors, our immediate neighbors from the region, and of course further afield. There you are, the sentiments or the feelings of some of the Port Moresby residents.
I think this is specific to one of their sons or daughters who is in the Navy.
Believe so.
Navy.
Believe so.
And if you were a Lieutenant Commander, if you were called to go to another country to perform the same, you would do this?
Absolutely. Same tradition, sir. In fact, the PNG Navy has participated in Sydney, 2013.
All right. So what do you think is going through the minds of everybody taking part there? Is it just duty, or is it you get some sort of a exhilarating feeling of taking part in a significant moment for a country?
Absolutely, sir. A lot of satisfaction and pride comes from participating in such events.
There's some band music there. We'll just let people take in the music there and the march. This is, of course, APEC House. You can march, you can go right around it. You can even drive right around the APEC building. So I take it that they're doing the same. These would be the Japanese.
So that would be the Indian.
These are the Indians, right?
Indian
now.
crew, yes, sir.
The Japanese, of course, are performing at a tattoo. The tattoo there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So and I thought they would be in the march as well.
Unfortunately, the Japanese couldn't send a ship for this particular review, but they did provide us with a military band for the tattoo.
Yes, we deal a lot with Japan in terms of trade and relationship.
Yes,
all
sir.
that. Very important partner in terms of the economy. Now that gives you a better appreciation of APEC House and from Ella Beach. There you can see the front line is now stopped, the rest are catching up. And this, where the Honorable Paus Pakop stands ready on that little dais up there. He's already up there, I can see him, it's in the dark, but he's up there in a suit. And he will welcome all these Navy marchers to Port Moresby and to Papua New Guinea ultimately. Just a few minutes pause. Give the marchers a bit of time to take their breath back. All a man, all walk about long way. There is. This is the Honorable Paul Sparkov receiving all the Navy personnel who've marched from the other side of Port Moresby onto this side, from the southern side to the east, to the western side. Oh, hang on, it's the other way around. The Honorable Paul Sparkov. This is one of the more exciting, I suppose, more formal parts. There are a few more of those before we get to the September the 16th. But here right now, in Port Moresby, the Governor Paul Sparkov is the center of welcoming all the navies of the region who've been part of the fleet review in Port Moresby, who were part of the fleet review in Port Moresby this morning, and who've now marched to be welcomed to Port Moresby and Papua New Guinea by the governor, a man, the political leader, and of course the municipal man in charge, and this is the Honourable Paul Sparkov.
We will now invite Governor of NCD, the Honourable Paul Sparkov, to welcome the ship's companies to Port Moresby and address the parade.
We expect the governor to...
On behalf of our capital city, Port Moresby, I would like to take this great privilege and opportunity to welcome all the visiting naval contingent coming to our city and our country for this grand occasion, the Golden Jubilee of our country's independence. Let me firstly acknowledge our Chief of Defence, PNG Defence Force, Rear Admiral Polewara. Let me also acknowledge Chief of the Royal Australian Navy, Vice Admiral Mark Hammond. Let me also acknowledge all the commanders of the different contingents who are here, from the Republic of India, the Kingdom of Tonga, the Republic of France, and of course, men and women of the PNG Defence Force. Let me start by saying how proud and honored we are to have you all here today with us on this important occasion for our people, for our country, for our nation, Papua New Guinea. To the visiting crews from all partner nations, I say thank you. Your presence with us today means a lot to us. In 12 days' time, we will be celebrating 50 years since Papua New Guinea became an independent nation. That's a big milestone, and it's a moment not just to celebrate where we have come from, but also to think about where we are going and who we are going there with. Seeing your ships in our harbor and your teams marching through the street of Port Moresby, our central business district, is a powerful reminder that we are part of the wider community of nations, one that crosses oceans and national borders, one built on mutual respect and shared goals. In the Indo-Pacific region, the sea connects us. Whether it's trade, security, disaster response, or protecting our marine environment, none of us can do it alone. We rely on each other, and that's why partnerships like the ones we are celebrating today are so important. Papua New Guinea may be a relatively small country, but we sit in a key part of the world. Our waters are part of vital shipping routes, and our coastline is home to communities whose lives depend on the ocean. So when we talk about national stability and cooperation, Papua New Guinea has a real role to play, especially from the marine perspective. It should not be lost on us too that in this day and age where climate change is a big global challenge, the ocean, which forms a major part of our region of the Pacific, offers us great solution to that massive challenge facing our Earth together. In Papua New Guinea, we take our responsibilities seriously. We are proud to stand alongside nations who share our vision for a safe, peaceful, cooperative Indo-Pacific. To all the sailors, men and women, officers, support crews here today, thank you for the work you do. Your discipline, your professionalism, and your presence here are deeply appreciated. Let's continue to build strong friendship. Let's keep working together on things that matters. And let's make sure our ocean continues to bring us closer, not divide us. Thank you all for coming to our country at this moment of time, very significant to our people, our country, and our nation. I wish you all great stay with our people, with our city, and with our defense force, especially the marine element. Let me wish all of us a great 50th celebration. And once again, welcome to Papua New Guinea, welcome to Port Moresby. Thank you very much.
Will now be fallen out by the parade commander, where they will then be transported back to PNGS Basilisk and hosted by the maritime element. Parade commander.
Well, there you are. Viewers throughout the country, wherever you're watching, in the region, in the country, in the region, elsewhere in the world, that was the welcome march by members of the navies of the countries in the region and further afield, marching to APEC House in Port Moresby to be welcomed to the country by the governor, of the National Capital District in Port Moresby, the Honourable Paul Pakop. So Lieutenant Commander Terence Mugugia, just tell us a little bit about the engagement there and the completion of that, the significance of that.
Well, sir, that signifies the end of all the naval activities. So now you will have the sailors being returned to the base where they will be hosted to a traditional PNG welcome. So a barbecue and some sort of gift exchanges will happen during that evening as well. And you would expect that bonding and relationships will be formed at a more personal level when the sailors are amongst themselves. So later on in the evening part, we'll have the officers congregating at the APEC House, rubbing shoulders with VIPs and also dignitaries and stakeholders within the marine industry.
Yes, and just the speech, the welcome speech by the governor of the National Capital District, in welcoming them, he recognized that this country is an island country surrounded by seas. So, and the seas are important for trade and for security purposes. Absolutely. I think he emphasized that.
Absolutely.
A bit windy, the papers were blowing all over, but I think he made that point. What did you think, Bradley?
Well, John, an important point where the governor of the city, Honourable Paul Pakop, made this afternoon was that let the ocean connect us and not divide. That's a very powerful message in itself.
It is indeed. Yeah. It is indeed. And you know, the sea can be viewed in different ways. I suppose it sets countries apart, sets people apart, yet it connects them. And he did mention that trade and security, let's keep that going. I think that is the message to take away from that little short speech from the Honourable Paul Pakop.
So, Lieutenant Commander, we are speaking of the maritime exercise this afternoon and the walk itself. Importantly, here in Papua New Guinea, we talked about the importance of Papua New Guinea in as far as the maritime is concerned. Strategically, Papua New Guinea placed in the Pacific and also in Asia. How important are we in the region in terms of our presence in maritime security?
Absolutely. We are a valued partner with all our regional partners in terms of the trade routes and, of course, the common security challenge that we face in terms of cross-border illegal activities and also the rising threat of climate change. So disasters happening frequently and with greater intensity. So there's a lot of dependency within the maritime world, especially within the navies of the world.
Yeah, yes. And especially when Papua New Guinea is sharing a land border with Indonesia across the border, a stone throw away from Daru to the tip of Australia, and also our neighboring Solomon Islands just across the autonomous region of Bougainville. That should speak volumes of Papua New Guinea as a country in the middle and its friends surrounding it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We just showed you some more pictures of how it was just a few minutes earlier. They marched to APEC House. For those who missed it, that's how it was. A few minutes earlier, as the welcome march by members of the navies who took part in the fleet review this morning.
Yes, and the Indians had their band as well, who were present. They brought life to the march this afternoon. Very attractive view there.
I do stand corrected there. The striking blue colors are actually the Tongan Navy sailors. So yes. I just realized that.
Yes. Correct.
Okay, as we look back on the march up to APEC House, Commander, you can tell us. I mean, there will be, of course, we'll have some refreshments after this, and I'm sure all those who've taken part are into that now. Tomorrow and on Friday, it'll be important quite important activities. Part of the fleet review, I suppose, the tattoo, and then the fly past on Saturday. Give me a little overview. Give us a little overview on that.
Certainly, sir. So as part of the broader PNGDF week, so the Navy has concluded its portion of the contributions towards the PNGDF week. Now we'll have the land element who will lead the military tattoo over the next 2 days. So that'll be tomorrow and Saturday. And then concluding with the air show and a static air display led by the air transport wing.
Okay, well, we just announced just the speech there short a while ago by the Honourable Paul Sparkov. We now have Martha on standby, on location, down at the APEC in Port Moresby. Martha, can you tell us what's going on there now?
Thank you, John. We're down here at the APEC House, and we have just witnessed the march and just a brief summary of what had transpired. So our officers marched. They started the march from the Old Wharf through to the Stanley Esplanade, up Capitan Street, onto Musgrave Street, and down Ella Beach, and finished off at the APEC House, where they assembled, and they were addressed by the Honourable Paul Sparkov, the NCD governor. Now, behind me, you can see the soldiers. The Navy officers have been dismissed of the march, the parade, and they're just taking a couple of pictures in front of the APEC building. And this brings us to the end of the Freedom March by our officers. Over to you, John. Thank you.
Martha, down at in front of APEC House here in Port Moresby. The Commander, you were telling us about what will happen tomorrow. This now completes the fleet review, almost. Yes, it does. While everybody is taking refreshments, this now completes that. But tomorrow, of course, the other elements of the Defence Forces, and with a tattoo, military tattoo, at the Sir John Guy Stadium, and of course the involvement of the air element, all over the Baluch by fly across. That'll be an exciting time as well.
Another spectacular event for the city to witness again, sir. Definitely.
Yeah, and just the tattoo, what's going to happen there? I mean, you know.
So essentially it's a culmination or combination of military ceremonial bands. So there'll be formations led by a musical band director who choreographs marching in, and then they'll break off into individual sections and they will perform. So each country will have a piece to perform. So that'll be on display throughout that evening, 2 evenings. So it's another must-see event again.
Oh, that'll be exciting, I'd like to think, and that is probably what the whole of Port Moresby needs to see. Exactly, something different, something good, because in Port Moresby, take it, give it to us. We're starved of entertainment sometimes, and something like that is most welcome.
Oh, yes, sir.
Bradley.
Yes, amazing 10 of events in amazing Port Moresby this afternoon. An amazing welcome from the governor himself. The tagline, amazing Port Moresby. Good events taking place this afternoon, giving meaning to the country's sovereignty, its solidity in the region, and of course, defense in the region, our presence in maritime display this afternoon, and more to come in the coming days.
All right, well, this just about brings us to the end of our telecast, I suppose. And, and what an exciting time this has been. The fleet review here in Port Moresby. We saw all the ships go past APEC House this morning. They were saluted, and they saluted our Governor General. He saluted them. And then the march. The other spectacular component of that was the chopper that flew our flag high in front of everybody there. And I think that was a scene to be remembered by a lot of, particularly children. That has a wowing effect among young people, and they'll take that home, I'm sure. And of course, you saw just a few minutes ago the welcome march by the navies from the main cargo wharf in Port Moresby to APEC House, where they were welcomed by the Honorable Powers Pakov, the governor of the National Capital District. And of course, tomorrow it'll be the military tattoo, followed on Friday by the air show. 12 days ago, before September 16th, when Papua New Guinea really celebrates the 50th independence anniversary, the golden jubilee, marking our nationhood, marking our growth, our maturity as a country. And this telecast was brought to you. The combined effort, the combined coverage of 3 television stations in Papua New Guinea. TV1, whose headquarters from which we are coming from, the hub, as well as MTV and NBC TV. We will do the same in the next events that as we head towards September 16th, marking the country's Golden Jubilee. So if you're watching us, thank you very much for doing that, and keep on watching us. Bye for now.